Okay, so now let's talk about how we can add some update functionality to our program. So right now, suppose I want to modify my password for Gmail, and now I have a new password. So let's just modify this a bit. And if I save this, as you can see, now I have two Gmail entries. So I didn't actually update that Gmail entry. I basically created a new one. So let's modify this so that if I do change the password, it will update on the same credential instead of adding a new credential. So let's think about this. So in order to update a credential, first we have to check to see if the description or website or title matches any of the descriptions that we have in our password vault. And if it does, then we'll update the information. But if it does not match anything, then we will add that new credential as a new one. So let's write the code for this. So instead of creating an entirely new method, we can just modify our add credential method to perform that check before we add any credential to our vault. So here we're just going to loop through all the credentials that we have in our vault, and we're checking if the description matches any of the credentials we have in our vault. And if it does, then we're going to modify this exist variable to true. And let's also modify the contents of the credential that we found, because we just want to update the contents of that credential. Okay, so now that we've checked if the credential exists, and then we're updating the credentials if it already exists. Now, let's talk about what will happen if the credential does not already exist. Okay, so in that case, we're going to add a new credential. So we're only going to run these lines of code here if the credential does not already exist and we're creating a new credential. So in that case, we'll use our exist variable. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see what it looks like. So now suppose I want to update this Hotmail password here. Let's shorten it. As you can see, we did not create another credential entry. So now if I click this, as you can see, it has been updated. And that even works for the title itself. So let's say instead of Hotmail, I'm doing hot with a capital M-A-I-L. And now if I was to save this, as you can see, the description updated here. So as long as there's a match here and it's not case sensitive, so as long as there's a match for the description here, we're going to just update the existing credential.